Hello everyone, welcome back to iCAD. In today's 3D CAD tutorial, we will be designing this particular drawing. This drawing is from Model Mania 2001 and this was the second Model Mania drawing. Again, there are two phases in Model Mania. The first phase is the drawing itself and the second phase is with a small changes to the phase 1 drawing where you'll have to make changes to the model and then find out the mass. Let's get started. The first thing that I'm going to take is the top plane where I can draw the base. The base is the rectangular thing that you see with two holes and the dimension of that is 64 mm by 96 mm. And we need to extrude this for 20 mm. And if you're wondering how I switched to extrude without clicking anything, it's because I'm using my 3D Connections Space Mouse Enterprise, and there are multiple shortcuts that I've set to ease the availability of the features, so I can access a few features literally at my fingertips. That's one of the best thing of CAD mouse. Okay, now we have the base ready. The next thing is I'll create the back, and for that I'll take right plane. I'll go to the line. Okay, the thing that you need to make sure here is you don't have any dimensions for the back. You may think it's wrong, but it's not, because they have given dimension. The only thing is that they have not directly given the dimensions to these two lines. The only thing that they have given in the drawing for these two lines is the angle itself, which is 135 degrees. Okay, one thing that you can see is there is I'll invert it like this. Okay, there is another line to which they have given two dimensions, that is 64 and 146. So we have to take that as a reference. But to take that as a reference, we need another line from the midpoint of the angled line. And before I give the dimension, I'll make sure it is set. These two lines are perpendicular. And now the dimension of this line is 32 plus 12, and why it's 32 plus 12, I'll leave it to you guys. Make sure you don't miss that 12 because the 12 is very important. Okay, next we know the dimension from this point with respect to the horizontal line, that is 146, and we also know the vertical height of that particular point from this line, which is 64 mm. Okay, now as you can see, the drawing automatically became defined. The only thing missing in this sketch is the fillet itself, which is 15 mm. Okay, make sure if your drawing is not defined or properly done, what happens is when you enter this 55, everything will change, as in the relations will change. So make sure it doesn't happen. Now we need to close this drawing. We know the offset is 12 mm, so we'll take that. I'll just insert this box and reverse. Okay, so as you can see, we need a closed profile to extrude this. So what you can do is you can click on the cap ends and change it from arcs to lines. Your offset sketch will automatically be closed. As you can see here, now it's a closed sketch. Now we can extrude this easily. So I'll go to extrude. See, now I have to go to features and then extrude, but with CAD mouse I can just do it with one click. Don't forget, you need to extrude it from mid plane, not from blind. And the extrusion dimension is 64 mm. And now we're done with the back. And the next step is creating the semicircular cut. I'm not going to create the cut here. Instead, I'll use fillet to create the semicircular thing. And how do I do it? You don't need to do the fillet of 32 mm here, because that will give you a single line. As you can see, if I select 32 mm over here, since it's 64, it should be 32, right? Okay, 32. You can see this line, right? The seam line, the center line. What you can do is, instead of using this, if you want a smoother fillet, instead of providing fillet like this, you can, okay, I can't edit it from here. I'll delete this fillet. Instead, I'll go to fillet again. Instead of the first option in fillets, I'll use the final option, the fourth option, which is this full round fillet. Here you need to select three surfaces between two surfaces between which you want the smooth surface. The first surface has to be the side, and the second surface has to be where you want the fillet to be, the center face, and the third surface is the parallel one. Now when I click OK, there is no intersection line, it's a smooth fillet. Now the next step is creating the circular extrusion here. I'll select that face, create the circle, and the dimension of that, the diameter of that particular circle is 52 mm, and I'll extrude this for 32 mm. Remember, it's not mid plane, it's blind, so you have to be very careful when you do these. Make sure your options are properly done. Next is creating the cut. Again, I'll select the surface from the circular extruded cylinder. Select circle. The diameter of the cut is 32 mm. Features, I haven't set any shortcut for extrude cut, that's fine. Through all, yes. Sketch plane, yes, done. Now we have our cut. Yes, we do. The last, it's not the last, but I'll consider it as kind of a last step, is to create the rib. And how do we do it? Go to right plane, sketch. The rib is at an offset of 26 mm from this line. So what I'll do is I'll create an offset line 26 mm, and I'll set all these offset geometry to construction geometry because I'm using it as a reference. Okay, next what I'll do is we need to create a 3-point arc because there is an arc over here. 3-point arc. I will give, okay, the radius of this arc is 55 mm, and the relation between this curve and this curve is that they are tangential. So I'll select both the curves and then make them tangent. Now I will select this curve and make sure it's not set to construction geometry because I want that particular curve. Now I'll go to trim surface. Since I want to extend this line to this curve to this curve, I will select this curve, left click, hold it, and then drag it. Wait, not trim entities. Go to trim entities, select the curve that you want to extend, make sure you're in power trim, do not let go, and now select the other curve where, till where you want the first curve to be extended to. Now there is a connection between curve 1 and curve 2. The last step is creating the line. That is, I'll take another line. I'll select this surface and make sure this line is collinear with this. Yes, make sure this point is coinciding with this particular surface. That's very important for your rib. Next is go to features, and I have a shortcut for rib. Go to rib, and the rib width is 12 mm. Click OK. Okay, now we have our rib. The last step is creating the hole here. So I'll go to hole wizard. It's M6 counter bore. And do we have the dimension for it? No, so we'll go to unsymmetric, and it is an it's hex bolt, and the size is M6. We don't want custom sizing, and yes, the end connection is through all. We'll select the surface. We'll create two. Now we'll start giving it dimensions. Make sure they are horizontal, and the center distance between each of them is 60. And since it's 60 with respect to the origin, it should be 30. And the vertical distance is 32. Okay, click on OK. Now the contour board is ready. The last step is providing the fillets. Go to fillet. They're given R2, so wherever you see fillet, it's all R2 fillets. Change it to primary one, and this is 2 mm. Okay, now where do we have fillet? So first I will select these things. I think I'm not gonna get the fillet now. Yes, so this is my first fillet, and my second fillet will cover the additional things. Again, it should be in 2 mm, so I'm not gonna change that. These everything is done. Yes, now all our fillets are ready. Now the model is done. That's it.